Let's see what I can get from 10 lucky boxes. Holy shit! Freaking real, the best start ever. Oh my god. That was some really crazy luck. Within 30 minutes of this new account. And yes, my main account, I completed pretty much all the content and I am providing mainly guides for the old game players, but I know that there are actually a lot of new players and a lot of free-to-play players. That's the reason why I decided to create myself a brand new account, which is going to be a free-to-play, to actually provide some more guidances for beginners, for some free-to-play players, to show everything by my own example, how I'm going to complete certain aspects of this game, certain challenges and so on, what's the best strategies, how to build yourself a proper account and so on. And this is Rudicalix Video Games channel, so don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's begin. And also, before we're going to start, just a quick reminder that we have a Netmarble content creator program in which I am enrolled, and thanks to this program I am able to provide you some additional codes which are going to give you some additional rewards, and it's for free. So if you're enjoying my content, feel free to support. All you need to do is just to go to the pinned comment to my page, log in with your game account, hit this support button, and as soon as I'm going to receive new codes or will see that I have new supporters, I'm going to send these codes. So on your page here, you just need to scroll down, you will find the codes there. And also I have my Discord channel where I'm providing all the updates. If you're interested, again, for the announcements for new videos or live streams, also if you need some help in terms of builds, in terms of game and so on, feel free to join. It's going to take me some time to build the community. It's not that active right now, but I'm always trying to answer your questions, so you're always welcome. Also, if you're a supporter, just send the screenshot that you're my supporter and you're going to receive some special role. Also, for my members on YouTube, you will also get a special role. Now we're ready to start with the main topic of this video. In this game, it's quite an important moment to start everything correctly, because it's going to save a lot of resources, it will make you easier to complete different aspects of this game, different stages of this game, beat certain content, and overall understanding of this game is kinda important. So at the very beginning, of course, a lot of players, they don't really know what to do and how to invest their resources, and especially free-to-play players, they're kinda limited in terms of it. But overall, in compared to what it was before, the amount of resources which we're going to receive right now from the beginning of the game, it's really huge. And with such amount of resources, again, really important to understand what you should invest into. So the first thing that I should mention, and which is really important, is actually this one, Formidable Combatant Missions. When you're going to start the game, the easiest way to learn how and what to do is actually to follow these chapters and these tasks. It's going to teach you what you should do, where. I'm not talking about tutorial which you're going to have at the very beginning, but overall to understand how to work different mechanics and to have just a smooth progress overall in the story mode, with upgrading your hunters, your SJW and so on. It really helps a lot. So the first thing that you really should do is to actually follow these tasks. Of course, another really important moment is going to be about the story mode. This should be the main focus from the very beginning, until the moment you will actually going to complete it almost fully, or to a certain extent at least. So normal mode, hard mode, and in a while you are going to receive yourself a reverse mode. Everything should be completed, because you're going to receive just an obscene amount of different rewards for getting yourself some trophies. Like for example, in the hard mode it's going to be weapon draw tickets for the weapon banner. In the normal mode it's going to be just usual custom draw tickets, which are also kind of helpful. And also, after completing your chapters, you're going to receive some additional tickets, and of course essence stones, which is the main source of buying yourself some additional tickets and spending it on some other aspects, which I'm going to cover in a little bit in a moment, maybe in this video, maybe in upcoming videos, because it's quite a huge one. And of course, with all these rewards and amount of tickets that we are going to receive, it's a really important one to understand which hunters and teams you should build for yourself. And for beginners, it's a really important one moment, especially for free-to-play players, to focus on one team at a certain period of time. So, for example, I can say that the win team is going to be just the perfect start for every beginner, especially with the fact that we still have Goto in the rate of draw banner, and he is going to play just a huge role, believe it or not. So in my case, I'm going to show you just my main team. All the other hunters that you see here, it's like a lose of 50-50. Well, in case of Cha, I got her copy from actually the Combatant 1 quest, but overall, my focus was and remains on Goto, Hansimi and Min. Instead of Min, you can choose yourself Mirai and build yourself a full win team. I decided for myself that I'm going to spend less resources for the win team, because Goto is kinda okay and working pretty much well as the main DPS in the win team, and because he's a breaker, you can use for him just 2 additional supports. He's doing pretty much well. How do I know this? Well, the answer is pretty much obvious. We're going to the game mode, and some players who already know this, we're going to the workshop of Brilliant Light, which we're going to unlock after completing chapter 18 in a normal mode of the story. And here I already completed an easy mode, Baran, and I completed it on day 2 of this account. And right now I'm on a normal mode, in the process, and I completed already first 2 stages. Here just the whole thing is that I have a difference in total power of 220k, which is pretty much huge, and also my level is 60, when here we have level 90. But overall, it's pretty much doable, and I'm going to finish it. It just requires me some time to get a little bit more levels and a little bit of more total power. So in general, Workshop of Brilliant Light, it's an end-game content overall. Yes, we can start pretty much earlier, but the main goal of course is going to be farming Baran for quite a long period, especially in normal and hard mode, and in a while get to actually Deimos to farm some more cores and some additional resources to break limits for these cores. Cores are really important for the total power in general and boosting account overall, the stats and so on. So again, going back to the banners, the main task for every beginner, by my experience and by my understanding, is to actually get yourself Goto to A4, ideally to A5, and of course these tickets, which are rate up draw tickets, you're able to farm them some amount in reverse mode and buy them for the essence stones. So here where I was spending the most amount of essence stones. And in general, the game provides just a huge amount of essence stones from the story mode, from completing different chapters like clearing encore missions for the first time. When you're going to receive yourself trophies, you're going to get some additional amount of essence stones. For the instance dungeons, it's also the same thing. And actually, on the 3rd, 4th day, 4th, I believe, I was already able to complete Proof of Strong level 10 with SJW, with the recommended total power of 724k, and I have, let me show you, a little bit more than 500k. So again, farming essence stones is going to be the main thing at the very start to actually get yourself some rate up draw tickets. For the other banner for Hansimi, I wouldn't really recommend to spend tickets here, because you're going to receive yourself quite a lot of black tickets, which are custom draw tickets, and here the main focus at the very beginning should be on hunters, like in my case, Hansimi, Min, and additionally I decided to put myself 2 weapons for SJW, because of course they are playing an important role. And the first weapon, which I decided to build myself, also we are able to receive some selectors for the weapons for SJW, was actually Demon King's longsword. Believe it or not, but exactly this one weapon helped me a lot with Proof of the Strongs, being in red total power zone, and it doesn't really matter if the opponent is weak to this element or not, just the way how this weapon works and the lightning. So in my case it was pretty much obvious that I'm going to push this weapon to A5, and by my test on my original account, the difference between DKL and DKD, this one weapon, it's not a big one. And actually I should say I have DKD, for example, at level 120 and DKL at level 100, and it's a difference in terms of attack. So the whole thing is that I got myself the same results in terms of timings. Of course, the best support weapon for the win ones are going to be Stormbringer, and this is another one weapon which I'm right now aiming for to build myself, also to A3 at least for the very beginning, but ideally to A5. It's going to boost my wind element quite a lot. Of course, I know there are a lot of content creators who are going to say that's a bullshit, and that's fine, but in my opinion it's a nice one weapon. And of course majority are going to recommend you to focus on the dark element, which is pretty much obvious, and in this case we're going to talk about Moonshadow daggers, this one weapon, and the plum sword. So together in pair they're going to work pretty much decent, there's no questions about it, of course. And also, not to mention, we will have a login rewards. Still, they're going to be for 33 more days, so here we are actually able to receive ourselves a selector for the legendary Blessing Stone, which is really important one, and a legendary rune on day 8. So at the day 8, the only one rune which I'm going to recommend to pick for every player is going to be actually Magnifying Slashes, the dark version. It's a broken NOP one legendary rune, which definitely you should get yourself in the first place. For the Blessing Stones, the choice might be actually different and vary, but the top couple blessings which I'm going to recommend here are going to be actually Reawakening, Bloodlust, and on the third place Sharp Perception. Again, it's by my understanding how the game works. I decided to pull myself exactly Reawakening because cooldown is playing an important role in terms of damage output, so by my understanding, by my experience, this is the best one Blessing Stone for the beginning. Now talking a little bit of the teams which I already partially covered. My main goal of course is going to be to finish up several my hunters like Hansimi. I'm going to bring her to A5, I'm going to push Min to A5 as well, and for the weapons I am aiming to bring them to A5 also. And after that we will see what kind of the next team I'm going to pull for. Maybe it's going to be the fire team, maybe it's going to be the water team, it depends on the meta, how it's going to change, what characters we are going to receive, how broken they are going to be, and of course I have my main account where I'm going to do all the tests, so the answer for me is going to be pretty much obvious, and I will provide my opinions as well. For the weapon custom draw banners, I wouldn't really recommend to spend your essence stones, because we have certain aspects and moments where we actually can get these tickets. It's going to take some time, but this is not the most important place where you're going to spend your currency. So again, I don't really recommend. The only place where you should spend your essence stones is going to be, I mean in terms of tickets, is going to be Raid Up Draw banner. For the artifact sets, it's also an important one topic because it's going to boost your total power by a lot, and it's going to provide your main stats for everyone, for SJW, for hunters as well. And of course you should focus on farming some artifact sets as soon as possible and the highest possible level. With updates we're going to receive higher levels, but for now, on the second day, I believe, I was already able to start farming level 78 and 75 artifacts. So we are going to talk here about, of course, Encore and instance dungeons. Of course, it's pretty much obvious that you should reach as soon as possible the highest possible tier. And it's really important not to waste a lot of resources for some really garbage pieces of gears. Like, for example, in my case, the whole gear which I have right now here, mainly, it's not really nice one. I just upgraded some sets, some pieces of gear to level 20 just to have enough total power. But I'm not going to spend any more resources for some other bad pieces. And I'm going to farm artifacts, new artifacts, till the moment I'm going to receive something really worthy. At the moment when I'm going, for example, to get myself 4 pieces curse set with perfect stats, like for example for helmet, the main stat should be with additional attack, and we also should have attack percentage as a substat, some more decent substats as well, like critical hit rate, damage increase or something like that. These are going to be like my main focus, to get the best possible pieces of gear and spend my resources only on worthy pieces again. Why so? Because enhancement of gears, it's all about RNG. Even you have more or less perfect stats, at some point you're going to get some really bad enhancements. For example, for SJW you want to get as many stacks as possible for attack, but you may get, I don't know, 4 stacks in critical hit rate, for example, or some other stat. And in this case, it's not going to be like a really nice one piece. You will have to, you know, find the other one and try to upgrade that one to get yourself as many attack, for example, as possible. So I started to talk a little bit about the sets, and this is an important moment to cover as well, because for SJW he is our main DPS unit, of course, and he scales of attack. For example, for the gear sets, right now I have 4 pieces grid set just because I don't have anything else. I decided to go for the grid just because I have Goto and he requires grid set. For SJW, again, because he is a DPS scaling of attack, for him 4-piece curse is going to work pretty much well. So you should aim for some really nice pieces of the curse set. For accessories, it's going to be 4 pieces expert set or 4 pieces outstanding ability or obsidian set. Let me show you just real quick. So this one set, like you can see. Now we're going to talk a little bit about hunters and recommended sets for them as well. So about Goto I already mentioned this moment. 4 pieces grid, it's working pretty much well for him. He is able to break, is going to boost critical hit rate by a little bit. And also for accessories, because in my case he is the main DPS, I'm using 4 pieces outstanding ability, because with 4 pieces it's going to increase damage dealt by 60% till the moment we're not going to get to 40% of MP or less. So he is able to recover MP, Hansemi helps to manage MP as well. He will never get below this number. For Hansemi, because she is a support unit, 8 pieces Burning Blessing is the recommended one set which you want to aim for. Min, because he, in our case, the second support, and blessing sets, they're not going to stack to each other. For him, the best one set is going to be actually these 2, or the Guardian set or Noble Sacrifice. For the Noble Sacrifice, if you're playing it with, let's say, SJW, it's going to help SJW, but it's not going to give any benefit for Goto, so for Min it's going to be definitely Guardian set. In case of you're playing for Hunters, you should give Min Guardian set. Or you can switch your Hunters, your support sets, I mean for Hansmi give the Guardian set, for Min give 8 pieces Burning Blessing, and for accessories, of course, as you can see here, it's going to be actually 4 pieces Seal's Blessing. The section with challenges is also an important one, so it's going to guide you a little bit about daily activities. Through them, you're going to complete them, you're going to receive some additional rewards, which are pretty nice. And after completing chapters, you're going to receive yourself additional 10 black tickets, which is really huge. And also not to mention about hunter skills, so it's really important one, and for your main DPS unit, of course, you want to boost these skills as much as possible. It should be like the first one priority. Here you also have some guidances, it's going to provide you with priorities, but overall at the very beginning, of course, you won't be able to boost it to level 10, and you should focus mainly on the most of characters, on basic skills and the ultimate. For support units, you should also upgrade them step by step. It's going to give you some additional total power. As you can see, step by step I'm upgrading them. The total power, we're going to the battle tier. And for some old players, it's pretty much obvious that this one aspect of this game is the king. So when you're lacking with the total power, you have struggles. And when you're good in terms of total power, everything is going pretty much well, even if you have not the best one stats, let's say. Another important moment to mention, which also going to give you some additional power and let's say some stats, is going to be your armory. And here we're going to receive ourselves weapons for SJW, is going to boost your total power. And here the most important thing that you should focus on each weapon step by step, not to push everything to the maximum, I mean not push the first one to the maximum, but upgrade them one by one equally. Of course, some slots they're going to be locked, and the most important thing, the second place where you're going to spend some essence stones is going to be actually Armory. Armory really provides a lot of total power, and this is going to be an important one for boosting your account even further. For these marks of time, they're not really that easy to farm, I should say, and spending like 150, and when we're going to progress further, it's going to increase. And for the last one slots, you will need to spend actually marks 2, and marks 2 you're going to farm even harder. So this one, marks 2, is going to take you really a lot of time. So I won't really recommend to spend these marks of time to unlock slots. It's going to be way easier, you know, to farm some essence stones and spend them here. It's not really important to unlock all of them at the very beginning. You can do it step by step as soon as you're going to receive some SSR weapons, because of course they're going to provide you the most amount of power. The gems section is also an important one. As soon as you're going to unlock it, also after completing certain stages of the Combatant challenge guide, let's say, you're going to receive some boxes which are going to provide you these gems. And I was really shocked how easy it was to actually fill all these trees. Because, for example, when I was playing with my main account, it took me maybe a week to complete all trees, and I mean with tier 1 or 2 gems. And here, like in 2 days, I already even have, where is it, tier 5 gem. Yes, it's a single one, but that's crazy. All the others are already like tier 4, tier 3, and I believe I have only one tier 2 which is accidentally here. But this is also an important moment to cover. So here you should focus on the most important stats. For example, first step is going to be actually fulfill the whole trees completely. It doesn't really matter which one, but after that, after you're going to complete it, you need to actually use here the most important gems. Use fusions to get yourself some better gems, overall higher gems. And I'm going just to guide you real quick through the most important stats which you want to see here. For the green tree, you want to focus on additional defense. you see I have couple with percentages. It's not really a nice one. It's kinda okay, but it's not going to give you the same amount of the total power as additional defense, and overall additional defense is giving you more in terms of stats, like overall. For the purple, you want to focus on MP consumption reduction, and this is going to be like a top 1 priority. The second, not a bad one, is going to be just additional MP, but let's say not the best one. For the yellow, at the very beginning, it's actually going to be not a bad one decision to fulfill it with some critical hit damage. This is going to be at the very beginning the top 1 priority, but after you're going to receive yourself better gears with better stats, and overall your critical hit damage is going to be about 180 at least, or ideally you should push it to 200. After that you should switch all gems with precision. For the blue tree, ideally you want to focus here on HP percentage. If it's not possible, you can bring some additional HP. They're all working pretty much well. Overall, with percentage, if I remember correctly, they're going to give more total power. For the red tree, that's pretty much straightforward. For SJW, from attack percentage, you're going to receive more benefit, more total power, more stats. But for your hunters, additional attack is going to give you more. Now for the cores, I believe this is also an important one, because they're going to provide you just a huge amount of total power overall and some additional stats. And you don't really want to spend any resources on purples and moreover on blue cores. So as you can see, I have this one at level 2 because it was required by a certain task from the chapter just to upgrade one core. So I spent a little bit here just to get myself one level and receive reward. But overall, the first cores which I started to actually upgrade are legendary cores. These are the only ones which you want to spend resources for. And of course, look for some really nice stats. At the very beginning you might lack in terms of critical hit rate, and critical hit rate is really important in this game. That's why I decided to upgrade this one core, for example. But overall, again, for SJW, at the very beginning with additional attack, it's going to be a better core. With some stats that you're missing, it's kinda okay, good, but afterwards you're going to change your cores to better versions. Again, depends on the progress with artifacts. So for example, these cores, I'm not going to push them further than level 10 because it's going to require you some additional resources which are not that easy to farm, let's say, and it's going to take a lot of time. I'm not going to spend any resources here. Level 10 is more than enough, so I'm going to actually farm myself some better pieces of gears, and after I will get some better cores. These cores are going to be exactly which I'm going to focus on pushing them to the maximum. As soon as you're going to complete Baran and Workshop of Brilliant Light, the easy mode, you will receive yourself the Remnant Power. Overall, you should just complete it fully. The way you're going to level him up is to actually farm Workshop of Brilliant Light Baran. This is the only way to get him some levels, and it's going to take some time for sure, but overall you won't get any further without completing like full trees overall. So you should just define for yourself the top priority. For example, in my case it's Goto. That's why in the first way I'm going to upgrade the fighter skills, and afterwards I'm going to focus on SJW as well to help him somehow. Also, I should cover the topic about the Army of Shadows, and this is also an important one topic because it's going to provide you in the late game just a huge amount of the total power. If you're a free-to-play player, maybe it's going to be not good one idea to spend some essence stones on gates, I mean farming some additional resources for the Army of Shadows, but who knows, I don't know. Maybe like buying at least 6 keys per week is going to be not a bad one decision, but again, I understand that majority of players, they want to push some hunters, and this is an important topic, of course, so again, it's up to you. Maybe in this case I should say that I won't recommend to spend essence stones for the gates, but yeah, the difference between free-to-play players and pay-to-win players at the end of this game is actually about the Army of Shadows, mainly. So here with the army, the main strategy is going to be to actually unlock all shadows, step by step. Yes, I believe it's correct one decision, because unlocking yourself some shadows is going to provide you some ability to push their levels even higher. And here, for example, you can see that I am level 20 out of 41. But after you're going to just unlock shadows, the other important moment is to decide which one you're going to push to the maximum at the very beginning. And by my opinion, the most important one at the very beginning is going to be Igris, because his skill, his passive as a Shadow Authority is going to be that he is going to boost critical hit rate of the team by a certain percentage. When we're going to reach certain chapters in the story mode, when you will be able to unlock yourself Beru and, for example, Besta, I believe Beru should be like the second one priority after Igris to actually upgrade him to the highest possible level, and Besta after Beru, because her passive with defense penetration in the late game is going to play quite a huge role. Also for leveling up your shadows, this is also important, because it's going to give you some additional total power, and pushing just a single one shadow to the maximum possible level with the upgrade doesn't make sense at all, because Shadow Army provides you the total power altogether. It not really depends on a single one shadow or three shadows which you're going to put in your team. The whole army of shadows works as a single one unit, let's say, in terms of total power. So the most important thing is to actually upgrade every shadow equally, step by step, one by one. And as soon as you're going to unlock them weapons, is going to be at the moment when you're going to give them general level, general rank. It's going to be after the chapter with the Beru. You will unlock weapons, and also weapons you need to upgrade them, craft them one by one, not like for a single one shadow, but one by one. And also not to mention the topic about weapons for SJW specifically, levels, they're playing an important role, advancements as well. You want to bring the most important weapons in this game to the maximum possible level. Again, we have limited resources, but overall the most important should be at least at A5. For the skills, you want to upgrade them, because this is going to give also some additional total power, but also boost your damage output overall. So for example, in my case, for Stormbringer, I already have the basic attack and the core attack at level 4, because it's not that expensive. The main skill level 7. For the Demon King's Longsword, the same picture, you can see pretty much everything. For the Hunter's weapons, it's also an important one topic, and yes, levels matters, because it's going to provide them their main stat which they're scaling off, and advancements in terms of total power, performance, some additional percentages, stacks and so on. It's also playing a huge role. For example, when we have different events, you should focus on them, you should get yourself as many dupes as possible, and after that craft the weapons that you're missing with using the red tickets. This one which you're able again to receive from different activities, events, let's say, or after melting some weapons, which I won't really recommend to do. Overall, you can farm yourself some currency, complete some activities, even some codes which you're able to receive through the whole game. This should be, let's say, more than enough. But overall, of course, we should talk about priorities here as well. And in the first place, you should at least craft one copy of the weapon for the most important hunters that you're going to use. Again, not spread all of your resources for everyone, just the first main team, let's say. And in my case is Goto, Hansimi and Min. So for everyone I crafted at the very beginning at least one copy of the weapon. And as Goto is my main DPS, first of all, of course, I'm going to upgrade his weapon. After that, we'll see, it doesn't really matter, Hansimi, Min, maybe everyone step by step. we will see. Overall, for Cha, I received her weapon to A5 just because, again, combatant stuff. And of course, overall, for the progress of your account, you should do your daily activities, spend your keys, complete Hunter Archive, is going to give you some additional rewards and quite a lot of them, complete Battlefield of Trials, just progress step by step with original version, with player, with hunters, and also of course complete challenges as soon as you can, because this is going to give you also a lot of essence stones and some additional rewards. Some weekly activities, they also play an important role with the progression of your account, so everything should be completed, just again, step by step, by your means, by your progress. Guild is actually an important one topic as well, because there we have a guild shop, we can buy some additional resources which are important for the progress of our account, and we can get some additional rewards. Power Destruction for progress of your account with blessing stones, with some gold, essence stones, and a lot of other stuff. Workshop of Brilliant Light, again, for course, to get yourself more power, more stats, better outcomes. With saying all this, I believe that's covering pretty much all most important aspects of this game. The only one which I forgot to mention is actually about the job change, but that's pretty much clear. So you want to progress as fast as possible, get yourself higher levels to get access to more runes, blessing stones, and so on. So that's not like some kind of a secret, you probably should know this or understand. And yeah, again, I try to cover the most important parts for every player, beginner or closer to the mid game, with providing some opinions and so on. I'm also doing like live streams with this account, so if you're interested to follow my progress, you're more than welcome. Again, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.